appreciate our organizers in the comment section. I mean, it has been an amazing session so far. Yeah, and we had such great speakers from the starting of this session to today, and they've always been with us in the WhatsApp group, guiding us. For those of us that have dropped a project for reviews and questions, they're always there to guide each and every step. And the host for this powerful session, the Nigeria Power Platform or your state user groups. Let's appreciate both the host and the organizers. I mean, it's been amazing so far. Let's go back to how we started. We started on 24th June. It's been 6 weeks now. With introduction to Power BI, we moved on to Power Query. Then we moved on to data modeling, from data modeling to DAX, from DAX to visualization best practice, the one we had last week. And now we are here, the Capstone project review. So I would like to introduce Mr. Adewale Yusuf to take us through today. I mean, hello, sir.
Hi, Sylvia. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so hello, everyone. Probably I should share my video. Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? I think it's been nice having all of us. This is a journey of like almost 6 weeks. We ended the journey today. It's a lot of learning sessions, a lot of training, and a lot of dedication from our hand. So basically, today is just for us to kind of review our project, look at how this training has kind of impacted us. And then we also discuss how we are going to start another marathon very soon. Because just like we promised in our previous boot camp, that we keep on bringing different marathons to us so that people can keep on learning, and improve their skills. So we are probably going to discuss our next steps after today's sessions as well. Also, Sylvia will be showing us our amazing dashboard. Let's say congratulations to Sylvia. I think that's the best thing we should do. Sylvia just won a dashboard challenge award, and I'm giving her a round of applause for that. So let's say congratulations to her in chat. So she's going to show us that dashboard at the end of our review, so we see how that looks like and how we can also improve our own project as well to look very nicely. So to start with, I want to first of all ask us, how was the experience so far? I think Afiz has also posted the message in chat. How has the experience been for us so far? We need to give our review and our feedback. How has the experience been?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to appreciate the organizers. So, for those of us that don't know me, for the first time, my name is Aladun Wakin Oladeji. I've been following this event from the first week, introduction to Power BI, to how to load, how to transform. Then we move to DAX and visualization best practice. I really say very big thanks to you, to the mentors. In fact, you have really done great to us. Like, you have inspired us, and that has given me the ability to learn more. At least I'm feeling the vibe now. I'm feeling the vibe that I know someday I'm going to be a data analyst, inshallah. Thank you very much.
That's great feedback. Yeah, so that's a great feedback from Wakilus. I think that's amazing. So it shows that our 5 weeks of marathon training does already go in vain. So we learn a lot. So how many of us here is ready with our project? I know there's a lady that Sylvia said she sent a project to her. She could not make today's session because of work. Probably
I'm ready, sir.
So you are ready. So are you with your laptop, your screen?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so if you can just go ahead and show us around what you got.
I'm coming.
So you share your screen.
Yes, I'm trying to bring my screen up. I'm coming.
Okay. So you should share. So we see your screen
Can you
now.
see my screen?
Produced by I think yeah, we can see your
Can you
screen.
see it now? Okay.
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let me start by saying this. Thank you very much again. So all I will be saying is just thank you for walking us through the process of acquiring the skills in data analysis. First of all, when the data set was firstly presented, was firstly given to us, so I tried to just look at the data set. So I tried to open it with my Excel. So I can see, can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see your
Okay, when I firstly loaded it into the Excel, so I went through all the data sets, what the data set is all about. So I can see it's only talking about saves. So so when I see that, I converted into table. When I convert it into table, then I load it into Power BI, into Power Query. So when I load it into the Power Query, so I try to look for the duplicate. So I found out that there's no duplicate. So and all the when I click on the column profile, I can see everything is 100. So then I now sit down and check how am I going to analyze this data set. So now I loaded it into my Power BI. So when I loaded it in Power BI, is the total sale throughout the year. So you can see it in my left hand side at the top here, and you can see the sum of sales that the superstore has is 2.6 million, which is amazing. Then I try to still analyze my data, that in which subcategories do we have the most highest sales. And you can see in the four, we have 4 years there. Yes, 4 years. So in the 4 years, so we know that the technology categories are the one that has the most ISAs, then followed by furnitures, then office supplies. So then I try to analyze it based on years. In which of the years do we have the most sales? So you can see in my dashboard, you can see they have the most higher sales in 2018, followed by 2017, then 2015, followed by 2016. So then I try to analyze my data again, that in which city do we still have the most sales. So you can see from the chart here, we have New York City. New York City happen to be the highest city we make our sales, which is around 252,462, so and so on like that. You can see I visualize it based on cities too. So on my second page, it's loading up. Okay, on my second page, we have the total sales in each year. so followed by the sum of sales in each segment. So in the ship mode, from the ship mode, you can see we have the second class, first class, and then same day. So like that. So I try to see in this counts by store data and by state, count of superstore data by sales. So we have California, that is where we have the most what am I going to call it? Count means the number of buy. So the number of times people buy. Most people buy from California. So and some then by state, we still have California as the top here that we make our sales the most. So then in the third page, I try to in my visual, you can see I put a question. What's it called, QA visual, so that in case in my visualization there are some questions we may try to ask and it may not be in my dashboard, so I try to use this QA as a as a guide, so in case I have any question I want to ask, so I can quickly come to this question visual and I can ask. You can see we have some suggestions, so that is uh, how I've been able to analyze my data. So thank you very much. This is my dashboard, and this is how I've been able to analyze the data set we are given.
Amazing.
Hello,
Can
can
we
you
give
hear
a
me?
round of applause for Akilos? We can hear you. So I'm just clapping for you, giving a round of applause for you. Everybody, can we clap for him? This is a lot of work, right? I'm not the only one here. We have a lot of experts here as well. And also give you everybody has been. But before we give you the kind of review, I would like to appreciate your effort first, because it's not really easy sitting down, being dedicated, start your own project. Sometimes when you're just learning things, you may just be watching videos until you start implementing yourself. That's when you know, okay, you started this learning journey. Based on what you've done, you've really done a very great job. You tell a very good story. Do that, and your alignment, your alignment, perfect. Your color, your sense of color. Like I noticed that throughout your entire you use color make a lot of sense. So for some people they will use almost 270 or 30 colors, just putting colors together. They use only one, which make a lot of sense. Right? They can tell a lot of stories. Now, for area improvement for me, I mentioned all the areas so that how that as well. One area improvements I'm going to give you from this area, your store sales by city. That chart that you have down here with the line chart. So next when you kind of
Sir,
probably
I think you are
the
breaking. I can't hear you well. You are
okay.
breaking. I can't hear you well.
Can everyone hear me, or is that from me or from Wakilu?
Your voice is actually breaking.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
can
yeah,
you
yeah.
hear me
Your
clearly
voice
now?
is breaking.
Okay, can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah,
Yes.
better.
Okay, let me have my video. Probably that's why my network is. Okay, so I was saying that the chart that you have down there, line chart is best for a time series. So when you're using a line chart, always make sure so you're probably talking about time. Maybe you want to show this sum of sales by quarter, by year, by month, by day, by different things. So anytime you're using a line chart, always make sure so you're talking about time series. So line chart as related with time. So don't use a line chart with a categorical data. So this city that you have now, you can probably use a map to visualize this, or you can just use a simple table, or probably even a bar chart. That's one review. Another review I can probably give you is the pie charts, right? So pie chart is not really a good representative for the charts, but I think some of my other can speak extensively about that, why you don't need to use pie. Um, and one more thing before I hand over to the others is the color. So I like the fact that they use only one color. But color green is not a color that you should use as a standardized color for dashboard. Green and red, they are like the color that stand out. You usually use them to show negative and positive. So even if the color, maybe the organization color is green, maybe you are doing a dashboard for Nigeria, the Nigeria color is green, white, green. Try and use some other colors that does not really related to that green. It can even be like an ash color or maybe something like black. So you don't have to use green. So green and red, use it to don't use it as a color for. So any other review comment? Every other person. Yeah, yeah. I think give a review. Okay, Muslim hand is up.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Can
Sorry,
we hear me?
Joaquin, can you turn off your video? It's making you, it's affecting your own voice too.
Okay.
Maybe it's audio, so I think there's a bit of noise from there.
Yeah, so you can mute your mic when you want to speak. Yeah.
All right, so good afternoon, everybody, and well done, Wakilu, on this. It's a great submission, a great trial from you. And just so that I don't overflow some things that Wally has mentioned already. So I just want to add that the visual that you have some of sales by city, it might be interesting to not look at every single city that you have because some of the cities might not be significant, so to put. So you would see that the start of it seemed to be high. There is New York, which has a very high sales there. What you may want to do instead is to filter to the top cities. So you may want to look at the maybe top five, maybe the top 10 cities or top three, depending on how many is of interest to you. So you look at that, and then maybe you may want to look at the bottom as well, maybe bottom three, bottom five. So you don't have a long list of all the cities because the reason why you're visualizing your sales by city is to see which of the cities are you making much sales from, and probably some of the products that are contributing to the sales coming from that city or from those cities. So that is number one. You may want to filter your cities so that you're looking at the top cities and the bottom cities and not a long list of your cities. Number two is that still on your sales by cities and visual, yes, Wally has already mentioned that you should use line chart when you're visualizing something related to time. Another thing there is when you are visualizing and you observe that your categories, the names of your categories, they are slanted this way. So they are written this way as you have it on your sales by cities visual. It may be ideal that you change the visual. So you change the visual such that the names will appear left to right. So what I mean is if you turn the same visual, this is your line chart, if you turn it to a bar chart, you see that the New York will now be written left to right, not bottom to top. And so it's easier for your audience to read the names than the way it is written at the moment. So that's the other thing. Then the third thing I want to quickly put up is with your chart titles. Yes, the chart titles that you currently have, they are the default. Some of sales by year, some of sales by category. You may want to modify that so that it's a bit more specific. So sales by year, sales by category. The only time it might be ideal to have something like sum of sales or average of sales is when the calculation is different from sum. So now if you are looking at probably average sales by year, you may want to say average sales by year. Or if it's just an aggregation at the sum level, you may just want to leave it as sales by year, sales by category. And the last thing I want to mention on this page is for the if you look at the sum of sales by category chart, that's a column chart there. One thing is that for the axis titles, so you have the axis title on the y-axis, sum of sales. On the x-axis, you have the category. So your chart title already tells us what the axes are representing. So you don't necessarily need the axis title again. So those will become clutters there. So you may want to take out the axis title. So it frees out more space for your visual. And because your chart title is already descriptive of what is there, so you don't necessarily need to have that. And the same thing applies to the sum of sales by city visual. You don't need the axis title on that as well. So and also on the sum of sales by category, instead of having the y-axis as such, you may actually want to have a data label. So your values are sitting right on the columns themselves. So looking at the chart, people can immediately see what the actual height of each of the columns translates to, and not that they want to begin to manually trace the peak of the columns to the y-axis to pick out what exactly is the number, or what exactly is the sales amount there. So that's just a few review points from my end. But overall, well done, Wakilu, and well done to the organizers. Thanks for empowering us and Wakilu. Excellent.
Okay, so if you also like to present your dashboard, kindly type in chat so we can know how many dashboard we have to go. So any other review from anyone?
Oh yes, I have something to add. Wakilu, can you go to your page 2? Hello, Wakilu.
I'm in my page 2 now. I'm in my page 2.
Okay, it has not reflected from my end here.
Yeah, so probably it's your network. You need to stop sharing and share again, Wakilu.
Okay. Okay, can you see it now?
It's still coming up.
Up to now, it's never come up.
No.
Still not coming up.
No.
Yeah,
No,
Wakilu.
it's not. It might be your internet.
So Sylvia, you can just look at that picture from WhatsApp, and also Wakilu posted it there, so you can give in case it's not coming.
Okay, I can make do with this one.
So Sylvia, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? I think his screen is just trying to share, but I'll just go with this one he has here. Oh, I just confirmed. I thought the pie chart he has there is the one for sales too. Okay, but the pie chart you have on your page 1, just like uh, Musin said, this pie chart, the data labels, you can choose to use remove the legend, and there's a way you choose your categories, right? You can choose to have your categories and your percentage instead of having both the legend and having the categories and the data labels, everything on the chart. So you can just remove the the legend and use your data label. If you go to your settings, your visual settings, you have a place where you set the option to use the category and the percentage. So that helps you. And when you are using a donut chart, if it's more than, let me say, 3 categories, just go with a bar chart. Go with a bar chart. And this bar chart you have here, that's what Musin was explaining for your time, your line chart you have in the page 1. So if you had something like this for this time chart for that page 1, it would have made more sense. Like so your viewers don't have to like tilt their head to like read the cities. So everything will just be communicating like that. And the way you arranged your for this page 2, this table of sum of sales, you could like adjust it so that everything will be, it's just looking like it's squeezed down there. You get, I don't know if can you hear me, Musin? Wakil.
Yeah, you see.
Okay. So
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
okay, for now, that's what I have. Musin has talked about your titles and removing the axis labels, because you did the same thing for the sum of sales by segment. You added the data label. The moment you add the data label, just you remove the axis labels because you don't really need it. So that will give more room and more space for your charts. I think that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Wakilu, for the interesting dashboard. I think that will be the end of the review for Wakilu. So Wakilu, just make sure you implement all the review that has been given, and then make sure you improve on that. But overall, you have a very nice dashboard, and you put a lot of work to this. So I'm giving you a hand again. Well done, well done. So is there anybody else that also wants to show their dashboard? Please signify if you want to show your dashboard. Ife, Ike, Uluwatobi, Onyushi, Kaide, would you like to show anything? So if not, so CBR, you can present for the lady that sent that dashboard to you. So let's see what she have, and let's give her feedback so we can work the recording.
Oh, okay. Let me. Oh, yeah. Let me try and open her. So her name is Blessing John. So Blessing sent me her report. She said she won't be around, so she's going to watch the video and make the necessary adjustments and learn from what the bosses have to say. Okay, I don't know if I should do her presentation for her because she did not send a PowerPoint and her insights. but I think we
Yeah,
can.
you can go ahead. So just start from the home page for her. I'm just quickly doing walkthrough.
Okay. From the home page, she has a total. Her analysis is saying that there is a total profit of 286.4 thousand naira. I don't know if it's naira or dollars. Then the total order is 9,994. This is the average shipping time, the total sum of sales, and total profit. Okay. She's having a repeated total profit. Then this is average of sales by day. This is the total sales by month and segment. Okay. This is total profit by year. Year 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017. And these are total profit by month. From her analysis, December have the highest profits with profit of 43,369. She has some sliders here. This is by month, by segment, by subcategory, year, shipping. Oh, I can't see this. Okay, I think that the region, this for her first page. Then for product and states, the same sliders, same KPI, but she has a chart of top 5 products by sales. So Canon image is the highest, and these top 5 sales by states. Florida has the highest sales. This is bottom 5 products by sales. And this is bottom 5 states by bottom 5 sales by states. From our analysis, Texas has the least sales. So geographical, she did a map visual. Total sales by city and country. And having New York City having because this is the largest circle I can see. New York City has highest sales by city and country, followed by San Francisco. Okay, and this is this chart doesn't have a title. Okay, I'm seeing first class, same day, second class, and standard class. Then this is total sales by region again. Oh, I think this is everything. I'm not the owner of the report, so I can't communicate what's in her mind when she was doing it. So
Okay, so I think we can still give her a review. She will listen to
yes.
the recording. So just go to the home page. I think before any review, I would like to give a round of applause for Blessing, even though she's not here. She's going to watch this and she's going to see whatever we were doing in this call. So let's just give a round of applause for Blessing. This is a lot of work. This is a lot of work, and she has really put a lot of hard work into this. So well done, Blessing. You've done very, very, very well. I think probably that's your screen, Wakilo. That's your screen. That's your network, I mean. So I can see Sylvia's screen. All right. So for my own review, right, I'm just going to give a brief review to that because of our time. I think in terms of color, this is a very, very good color scheme. So I like the way she kind of put her colors together. I love the way she was talking about what I love first. I love the way she put the colors together, the way she gave her chart appropriate style too. Her alignment is almost perfect, even though it's not that perfect. So next time when you're doing alignment, always use the alignment tool under your format. So you can always align left, align right, and then distribute horizontally, distribute vertically. That way it makes your alignment come out very nice. But aside from that, you have a very amazing alignment. If you go to page 2, Sylvia, in your page 2 too, I like the structure of your layout. I like the way you put the layout out there. they make sense. Go to page 3, and also page 3. I love the use of the map that you use. The map can kind of make a lot of sense, and it can tell a very good story while looking at it. And this is just total sales by city. So this is the same chart that we look at in the previous report from Wakilu. So this total sales by city is the same thing that Wakili also presented. So it's good that we are looking at it in different dimensions, which means all of us are also learning from this. So I like your alignment. Now, for my review points, if you go to page 1, I will start from saying that all your slicers are not that visible. So if you look at the slicer, I can hardly see them. And even the one we can see, they are crumbled together. So like, for example, we have the subcategory. We can't see that subcategory. It's kind of squash up. So if you really want to use a slicer like that, probably some of the trick I want to use, if you want to maintain your real estate, some of the trick I usually use, if you want to maintain a real estate like that, is you can switch up the slicer header. So when you switch it up, you now use a text box to create another text. Use a text box to create another text, and you just put that text box at the top of the slicer. So that way you've kind of visualized what you want to see, and you can see everything very well. Reduce the size and all that. The alignment, I've said it earlier, your alignments are not that perfect. You should work on the alignments too. Then I can see your total profit, order, average shipping time, which is a very good analysis to me. So what is the average shipping time? How long does it take us to ship most of our product? I can see your total sales and your profit last year. So another review point I may have for you as well, that your total sales by month and segment that you have as a line. You probably use a line chart instead of this chart that you use. I prefer a line chart. Yes, I prefer a line chart instead. You can see the line chart you use below for total profit by year kind of make more sense, right? And you also you added a trend line just to see how the line is going. So which makes a lot of sense. For that, that's one of the review I can give. If you go to the page 2 briefly, so for page 2, I think it's almost the same review for that one too. I like the fact that you did some top 5 sales by state and all that. So it's a great report. I think that's it from me. So I don't know if there's any other review from the other people in the chat. Afis, Mohsen, Sylvia, Ahmed. Any review from us?
That person is raising hand.
Okay, Mohsen, your hand is up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, well done, Blessing. Excellent work. It's a lot of efforts to come up with something like this. Sylvia, please could you go to the home page? So I just want to run through this very quickly so I don't I wouldn't want to repeat some of the things Wally has mentioned. First is the average shipping time. It might be ideal to tell us, is this in seconds, or is it in minutes? Is it in hours? We need to know the time the time unit. So you might just add something to your 3.96, maybe in your DAX measure itself, concatenate it to whatever, maybe it is HR for hour or seconds or minutes. So that gives anybody looking at this more context as to the time that they're looking at. Okay, Wally said it's in hours. Okay, thanks for that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that you sort of made the cards dictate the size, or the values on the card, they dictate the size of your cards. So for 286.40K, it seems wider than the rest. So you may want to actually maintain the same size of the card visual, but just work on the font size itself. So if you observe that the font size, if you leave it at 25, it will need you to expand some other cards. You may want to just reduce it a bit more. So the cards are sitting on the same size, and then the font size will just be what you may want to alter there. Then the next thing I saw is for the total sales by month and segment visual, your your axis, your category is sorted in descending order. Well, the ideal thing is probably to have it January to December and not December to January. So that may be something you may want to pay attention to as well. So the human mind, the way it works when it's looking at things that are time based is it should be in ascending. I don't want to be seeing July before I see February. So even if that is the order, the first interpretation that the human mind would have is still that, okay, what I'm seeing is the month before the next. So you may want to maintain the January to December arrangement. And again, is instead of when you observe that your January to December is sort of slanted that way, you may want to have the abbreviated month. So it may just mean that you are creating an extra column on your date table, have the three-lettered months. So for January it's Jan, Feb, Ma, and like that. So that way the names can properly sit on the axis and not slanting. Uh, please go to the next page. So here for yes, the top 5 product by sales and the bottom 5, excellent work. What I just say again, I think I mentioned this for Wakilo as well. Once you have the data label, your axis becomes useless completely. So the x-axis where you have 0K, 20K, all of those, you may want to switch them off because you already have the data label. And the second thing about the bottom chart, so when we are looking at bottom, some of what is recommended is that probably you want to sort it in how do I put this? The other way around. So this the smallest now, the text does will now be at the top and then it ranks downward. So that's that way they're saying the bottom ranking. Although this just a suggestion by some of the school of thoughts when it comes to sorting and arranging filtered values. But excellent work overall. I think this blessing, great work.
Okay, so thank you, Missing. Any other feedback? Any other review point from anyone?
I have just few to say. She has total profit 2 times. So Blessing, you might want to look into that. You're having a repeated card visual. You have total profit here, and you have another total profit. And also your slicers, I can't see. I had issues when I was trying to call out. So you might want to put it in such a way, if it means reducing the font size so that your audience get to see. I don't know what this is, even by clicking on it, but knowing that it's the data, you know that this is subcategory, but this is shipment mode. So you might want to give everything room to show. Oh, okay.
So
I'm assuming that this is set up, and when you publish it to service, the shape will not be disrupting. You get, so there's a setting where you fix this shape so it doesn't have to be coming up when it's being clicked on. Okay, I'm trying to. Oh, oh. I think that's
okay,
everything.
so yeah, just to add a little bit to what you said. So you mentioned that she has total profit 286.40, and she also has another card, which that one is total profit last year, actually. But one of the reasons that
Okay.
your user can be convinced, right, is because there's nothing selected in the year right now. If you go to the year slicer and you probably select a year, is that other one is going to change. Go to the year slicer and select any year, probably 2016. Um, so we are not expected to see the same value now. So the other last year is expected. So what you can do to kind of giving this review to Blessing now, what you can do to kind of make sure that your user is not convinced, because that's actually confusing CBI right now. So what you can do is inside your DAX, you can kind of put a conditions there that says that if year is not selected, if nothing is selected in year, then you should probably return null. It should not return the same figure, right? Because that way it's not going to confuse your user that way. So it's just going to return probably blank or maybe a dash. right? So you can use a condition to get rid of that in your DAX measure. And I think for the card, for the shape that you mentioned, Sylvia, I think the shape should still work fine, even if she publish. The shape is not going to. The shape is still probably go fine. But the point of the slicer, definitely this slicer is need a lot of work. So that it can be very visible, like you said.
Oh, yes, and again, another thing you can do, Blessing, is your background. You can always design it on PowerPoint, then bring it in as a visual background. That's another way you can achieve this. And another thing is this total profit last year. You can also make the naming. I was seeing LY, I wasn't really convinced. So if you put the naming, if the naming was more defined, I wouldn't really be confused. Is any other person?
Yeah, I think that's it. We also have one more presenter. Somebody just sent a message in chat. Kainde said he wants to present as well. So
Okay.
Kainde, are you ready to present? If you're ready, please share your screen. We're waiting. Unmute your mic and then share your screen. I don't know if you are speaking yet. We can't hear you, Kainde. But we can see your screen. Probably is your audio. You should go to your audio setting.
Aki.
Okay, Kenny, can you speak now? Yeah, I think we can hear some sound, but you are not speaking. Can you speak? Hello, Kenny, are you speaking? Yeah, I think you are speaking, but we can't hear you. So go to your team setting. Go to that more. Can you see more on that team setting? Go to more, more, more. More is beside that app. Or then click settings or background effect. You can go to settings. Can you see settings? Yes. Click settings, like the device settings. Then change your microphone sound from your internal microphone. Probably change your microphone from your internal microphone to something else. Okay, that's the only one you have. Okay, but why can't we hear you? Okay, so probably another thing you can do. Can you just speak? Say something. Can't hear you. So probably another thing you can do is join with your phone as well. You can then speak on your phone, then show your screen on your laptop. Can you do that? If you can hear us.
Okay.
Okay, so you can speak on your phone. Let's see. But mute your mic on your laptop.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, yeah. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to learn. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay, so I was able to collect the data. I downloaded data and then did some little cleaning although there was really no cleaning there, but I was able to normalize the data and divide into facts and dimensions table, which I later used for the analysis. So we have the total sales, the previous year sales. So when I click on 2016, we can see the sales. Oh, sorry, this is okay. We can see the sales for the previous year sales, and then the total sales for the present year, and then total quantity, and then the year-on-year sales. So I use some DAX measures to calculate the year-on-year sales, and also to do the total sales and the total sales. So we have the sales by top 5 states. We have California being one of the top rated states, and then states by sales by month. Then we have the sales by category. You can see that the technology section category is actually one of the is the one that is generating more sales, and also by segment, the consumer segment is actually generating more sales. Also, based on the subcategories, we can see the categories that are generating more sales and the ones that are being sold more. So we can see the chair subcategory is generating about $70,000, and we can see phone section also generating those sales. And then we can see based on region, we can see sales based on region, based on the central, east, and all, and added the slides. And then based on the ship mode, first class, you can see same day. So we can see that a lot of based on the technology section, they prefer the same day delivery ship mode, and then you can see all that here. And also we have, sorry, let's close this. Okay. So we also have the month-on-month analysis. So the total sales each month, and then the previous sales. So this one is the previous sales from December, and then we can see the month-on-month analysis percentage. So if I do 2016, you can see that. So based on last month, like December, we did more than what we did currently this current year, and then you can see that March the sales increased for this current year compared to the previous year. And then we can see sales by top 5 products. Can you hear me
Clearly.
okay? Then sales by top 5 country top 5 products. Then we can see the year-on-year analysis, total quantity the previous year. So sorry for this. And then we can see sales by city. We have New York City as one of our leading one of our leading cities in terms of sales. And then I have sales by top 5 customers. We have Peter Fuller being the our top customer in the year 2016, and then in 2018 we have Raymond Bucci. So we can just interact with it like that, and then I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Can we give a round of
Let
applause?
me clap. Let me clap. You
Can
don't need
we
to say. Let me
clap?
start clapping.
Can we clap? Can we clap? Who is not clapping? If you're not clapping, you are wrong. Okay, so Kenny, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So go to your first page. I'm going to start by giving you a lot of accolades, right? This is an amazing dashboard. I love your color scheme, so I'll give you a round of applause for that. And I love the way you use color. You kind of you maintain only one color, just like Wakilu as well. But I like the color you pick, right? Because I like purple. So your color actually make a lot of sense here. Your alignment too. I think I love the alignment. So the alignment kind of makes sense. I love that. Now, the table you have to the right, I also love the way you kind of structure the table, and also the conditional formatting you have right there. But because the category you're using there, it's not like an ordinal category. So what I mean by an ordinal category is there are some categories that they have to they have to be aligned based on order, right? So since this category is not an ordinal category, it's just a normal category. So you can kind of sort your probably your total sales from the highest to the lowest, so that we can see that your conditional formatting showing from top to bottom. So that way we can easily see the subcategory that bring in the highest revenue. Great. You can see that makes sense now. So we can kind of see the subcategory that bring the highest revenue, and that's chairs, followed by phone, followed by storage. I think that is amazing. Now, your real estate, you use your real estate very well to the extent that, in fact, you still even have some space. So those three slides that you have up there, you can shift it to the right and have more and more and more slides. So, Wakili, if you want to mute yourself. Okay. All right. So those slides can be shift to the left, and you can even have more and more slides as there. So you have more and more slides that you can tell more and more stories. So which shows that you really use your real estate very well. Now, looking at your cards, the cards you have to the left, your total sales is not showing fully. So you may need to work on that, probably reduce the size of the numbers and do the formatting so that the cards can really show very well. So when you reduce the numbers, reduce the font, I mean. So when you reduce the font, I mean, kind of shows very well. And your prior year as well. So since when you're selecting a slicer, that is when the previous year will show. So you can kind of make some changes in your DAX. Just use the condition in your DAX so that when you're not selecting anything, it probably showing a blank or nothing. So it's not, you are not confusing your audience, just like the feedback we give to Blessing as well. So we've been talking about pie chart, pie chart, pie chart. So pie chart is not a good picture representative for a chart. A lot of professionals have criticized the use of pie charts, right? So it's good. It always makes sense, especially women want it. The ladies will like pie chart, probably because of the color, and the reason because we also like pizza. So different people like using pie chart, but a lot of people in the world are size pie chart. So you need to kind of use another chart when it comes to pie chart. When you're tempted to use pie chart, just try and use another chart. So I'm going to send one article for you in chat so you can read why you don't need to use pie chart, right? So a lot of people have, you can even type it in Google, why I should not use pie chart. You see a lot of arguments about that. So I love your conditional formatting here too for your percentage month to month. I like to see month to month because you can tell a lot of story with your month-to-month analysis to see how we are growing month to month. Are we going up or we are going down, right? So this your month-to-month analysis kind of make a lot of sense. And I think I can hardly see any other review for you because your dashboard looked too perfect to even give you more and more review. So any other review from my colleagues? Sylvia, Musain, Hafiz, Ahmed, let's give our review.
I saw Muslim
Okay.
Thank you very much.
raising his
Yeah.
hand. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
You know,
Good afternoon.
I've been following up from the beginning, and I'm really impressed. Like these guys, they have been able to at least took their time to even understand the data set, which is for me the most important thing while trying to even work with data. As a data analyst, if you don't understand the domain of what you are trying to do, you might even find it difficult to say you want to build a visual or bring out something from that data. So first, that's first for me. So and I can say the other aspect is generally they are finding it difficult to know exactly what to do, like which visual to use for while trying to bring that something. So each visual has their own way, like their property, their attributes, and best way to use them by trying to build
And while trying to use any figure, you have to know, okay, what am I showing? What is the essence of me bringing out this figure, and what are the parameters that I need to add to all these figure? So that's another thing. And in terms of color, in terms of background, you guys are trying. So it's just that, like I said, while we are doing the best practice in visualization, that if you are finding it difficult to work with Power BI formatting or anything like that, you can go to PowerPoint, build your background and bring it to the Power BI so that you can easily just come out with figure and place it on the background you've designed from PowerPoint. So, and let's just try to know how to maintain space on the canvas. So know how to align your figure very well, and also like this kind of figure like card now. You are only putting when you add card to your canvas, it will give you category label, which is always covered at the bottom. So you can off that and just add title to your figure and stick to title instead of having the category label. Sometimes you might have what you don't like, you have to change it. You have to change the title to the way you want it to appear to your audience, and or let me say the best way to represent whatever you want to bring out. So I'm really impressed with what I've been seeing so far, and well done, guys. Sylvia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think
I
you can
don't
continue.
I don't have anything to add. I saw Musin raising his hand before. Musin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so I'm almost tempted to say that it's nothing, but great work, Kinde, on this. I know you must have put in a lot of effort to get this to the level it is. Just one or two things. One is for the chart title. For example, the chart you have sales by city. You may want to bold in that. So it's your font for the titles are somewhat consistent. So if you compare that to the title on the sales by top 5 product, you see that the font size and the font sizes are not the same. So you may want to make that consistent across. So it's fine that probably you're adopting the title, the font size of the title of the sales by top 5 product. Ensure that that is what you use across board. So it's fine to have the title a bit pronounced so that before people go on to see the details on the visual, they already have an idea what the visual is talking about. And number two is the categories you have on the sales by top 5 products. I am referring to the x-axis. You might need a bit of straining of the eyes to see what those are. So maybe you may want to increase the font size by one bit or two, or probably you make that bold somehow just so that people can immediately see what the axis is talking about. But overall is a good work. Excellent. Well done.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you really did an amazing work. I love the fact you were able to work on the data modeling, and you were able to separate the data to from your fact and your dimension table. Just like Musin said, your data labeling, you can also, by default, Power BI, the data label, the color it uses there, it's not completely black. It's kind of gray. So you can always change that to black. So that helps. You can see from your visual, you are already there. The color there is not black, it's gray. So you can change it to black. So it's more visible.
Okay, Sylvia, I'll do that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your review.
Welcome. Is anybody else going?
Thank you so much, Kenny. That's an amazing dashboard. Do we have any review from any? Do you have any other dashboard from anyone? Meanwhile, our session today does not have time, so sorry if you are late. Today is not 1 hour, so we want to review as many dashboards as we can. So if you still have a dashboard on, let us know. We are happy to look at it. Anyone? Okay, so if there is none, let's look at an amazing dashboard built by CVI also, so that she can give us some more inspirations on how we can do some things in Power BI. So CVI, you may want to have the floor now. Show us some amazing things you've done, how you won your competitions, that just give us a little bit of insight about the competitions and how you won and all that. Then after that, we are going to discuss the next step. So you know, we said we are not leaving us. After this marathon, we also need to kind of discuss what we should continue going forward. So go ahead, Sylvia.
Okay, I'm looking for. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. This month I participated in it's a data visualization and storytelling challenge. So one of the things you can do, storytelling is not just to come up with a story. It's getting your dashboard to tell a good story, even if you are not there. So you want your dashboard, your visualization, you want it to pass the information that you would have said if you were there. So when this challenge was released, NJ Hack, it's a community. They organize a monthly coding challenge. So depending on tracks. So I've won the one. I've won it before. They did the one for April edition. It was data too. So I won the one for April. So for this month, after they did Web3 and front end and web backend developers. So this month they came up with data again, and it's Pokemon. To be very honest with you, I knew nothing about Pokemon when I saw the challenge, but I knew that I was good with telling a data story, but I did not know anything about Pokemon. So that would bring me to the first thing I would say. As a data analyst, as a business intelligence analyst, the first thing that you do, it's to make research. It's a very important aspect of your career. So I did not know anything about Pokemon. I have never heard it before. I watched cartoon as a kid, but I never watched Pokemon. So that was when I found out that Pokemons are is a short form for Pocket Monsters. So it's a game. It's also it's like animations, yes. So it happens that there is something called Pokemon Masters, and they collect these little this one that is dancing here is called Pikachu. So they collect monsters like this, and they set them up to fight. They train them like pets, and they set them up to fight. And this one that is bouncing here, it's a pokeball. So they use it to store them. So when it's time to fight, they will bring them out. So that's a little knowledge I had on it. I had to research, and I also found out that there is a series on Pokemon on Netflix. I had to force myself to go and watch at least one episode so that I would know the angle I'm going with analyzing the data. So this is the data set that was given. I had to open it so that you see. So this is what I have. I have the image URL. I have the ID. I have the name of each Pokemon, the type 1, type 2. This, I call them the battle metrics. So this is hit points, this is attack, this is defense, this is special attack, special defense, and speed. Then this total is the sum of everything here. It gives this total. So from my research, this type 1, each Pokemon may have 1 or 2 types. So you can also see that I have missing values here. dealing with missing value as a data analyst, there are various ways you can deal with missing value, but the main thing is try to understand your data. There are times you drop, but before you drop, make sure you understand the data you're dealing with. So I saw this, I was tempted to just drop this type 2 column because more than half of the data set was missing until I made research and I found out that a Pokemon can have two types. It has a primary type and a secondary type. And some Pokemons, they don't have a secondary type. So what I now did was to replace this null value. I put none there. So I'm trying to give a head start so that when you see the visuals, you get to understand when you see none. So I replaced it with none so that the Pokemons that don't have a secondary type, there is none there. You know that, oh, this one doesn't have a secondary type. And we also noticed that some Pokemons, they have underline, they have the base names we are repeating. So I used Python to do this, but I'm working on the article, I will share it. So we used Python, I and my teammates, we worked on that. So like this name that you're seeing, Venusaur here, you're seeing another Venusaur, Mega Venusaur. By right, this Venusaur is not meant to be there. So what this Pokemon's name is Mega Venusaur, not Venusaur Mega Venusaur. So we did the data cleaning in Python. I replicated the same thing in Power BI. So it worked simultaneously. While we were brainstorming, we were also doing that. So removed the base names and left it there. And one thing I did not delete this name column because you can see that the ID they were repeating. And working with the data modeling, I was able to do my fact and dimension table. And the primary key here is this named column, because this is what I used to link it to the fact table. So I did not remove this column even after doing the data cleaning. So I left the second, the modified, I called it modified names, and I had these names I still had this one, so I will use it to be connecting it. I dropped this index column. It's not needed. It's not necessary here. And the image URL, this is the most difficult thing that came to me. The image URL was provided. I loved it. I wanted to explore with the images. So, but what was given to me were icons. They were icons, so they were really, really small. So I went to the Pokemon database website, and I copied the website base names. I'm sharing from service, so I don't get to say that. I used that was the reason I did not delete that main column name column, because there is an option in Power Query where you add column from examples. So when I added column from examples, I put the web URL and I wrote the names. So the intelligence will copy every other thing down. So it gets to replicate all the images. So I was able to extract the real JPG and PNG images instead of using the icons, which are not ideal because they are very small and they would not be, it's not visible enough for me. So you can see that you can use GIF in Power BI. So, and I also implemented a toggle button where you can switch to dark mode and you can switch to light mode. This is the cover button. So other things we did was we did some statistical analysis. We did cluster analysis, so we can be able to group each Pokemon to each clusters. And it helped us to see the characteristics of every type of Pokemon and see the way they are distributed, their strengths and their weaknesses. So this is the page one, the type distribution page. So this is the total number of Pokemons. I know you can see some things coming up. Instead of using the normal default tooltip, I created a visual tooltip so that if you are hovering in any chart, you are able to see the details. So these are the number of Pokemons. There are 1,194 Pokemons, which water type is leading the number, while flying is the least. This is also here the distribution of Pokemons with primary type. Water, this is the top 6. I did the top 6. And I used another visual tooltip where the moment if you're hovering in this chart, you're able to see the top 5 Pokemons in that category. So this is water category, topping the distribution of Pokemons with primary type. And the Pokemons that the top Pokemons strongest by their total score in this category, in this type, you are seeing is the Primarchigo, the I don't really know the pronunciation of their names, and the normal. You can go to grass, and this is the ratio of Pokemons with a secondary type. Generally, this is generally. So the ratio, 54% of the Pokemons have a secondary type, while 45% they do not have a secondary type. So I kept this here so that you can see that water is leading in Pokemons with a primary type. But how many percentage of Pokemons that are water type have a secondary type? So you're seeing that 54% do not have a secondary type, while 46% have a secondary type. If you check for dragon, you're able to see the one for dragon and so on. I added the two, I concatenated the two columns, the type 1 and the type 2. So we get to see, combining the two types, which combination is actually leading. So we can see that more of normal and flying. So you have more Pokemons with normal and flying. And okay, these are distribution of Pokemon with a secondary type. In the filter, I removed none because none is leading. So I want the ones with a secondary type, which is leading. So we are seeing that flying is topping here. So you notice that if you are checking the distribution of Pokemons, this is by primary type. This filter is by primary type. So flying is the least least represented Pokemon with a primary type, but is the more dominated Pokemon with a secondary type. So you see that more Pokemons adopt flying as their secondary type. You can have a dragon type that is flying. So its primary type is dragon, but it is flying. There are some dragons that don't fly. So if you click on the dark mode, so you get to see the same visual as well. And these are the top Pokemons by their total score. And this is the type. Eternatus Eternamax is the leading Pokemon. I placed its details here. So you see that this is its hit points, the defense, the special defense, the speed, special attack, and attack. If I use the data set I had the way I had it, I would not have this hit point, defense, special attack, and everything. Why? Well, I did a data transformation. That was when I separated the fact table and the dimension table. I think I should go to my Power BI to see that. Or I can. Okay. What I did there was I selected this column, the hit point, the defense, the special defense, the speed, special attack and attack, and I unpivoted them. So unpivoting them puts them in a particular column. So you have values and you have a category for it. So I gave the category battle metrics and I gave the values their scores. So these are the battle metrics and these are their scores. So the result of the cluster analysis we did, this is the result. So we used 6 clusters from cluster 0 to cluster 5. So we are seeing that more Pokemons are grouped in cluster 2. Why the least Pokemons, least number of, this is by number. This is why the least number of Pokemons are grouped in cluster 5. And by performance, average scores by cluster, we are seeing that cluster 3 has a higher average scores compared to, this is the comparing general battle metrics. But if you are going to look at the by total score, cluster 3's total score average is 641. The one for cluster 0 is 533, and so on. But on average, Pokemons grouped in cluster 3 are generally the strongest Pokemons, while Pokemons grouped in cluster 2 are the weakest. So we can see that while cluster 2 is leading here as the highest number, so it's not by number, it's by strength. So while it's leading with the as the highest number, it is the least with the average scores, that's by strength. So this is the primary type by each cluster. So I get to say cluster 3 is the strongest, right? So which Pokemons are dominating this cluster 3? So we can see that, oh, dragons, 20 of dragons are in cluster 3. Oh, wow. And the psychic types, 22 of them are in cluster 3. I also listed it here. So we are seeing if we click on attack, we're seeing that cluster 3 is leading in attack, followed by cluster 1. So we click on defense. Cluster 5 is leading on defense. Now, this made me find out that, oh, cluster 5 is leading on defense, and the Pokemons dominating this cluster 5 is the rock type and the steel type. So it means they have more weight. Oh, if they have more weight and they are more stronger, they have less speed. That's another thing. So if you click on speed, cluster 5 is among the list. It's dragging list with cluster 2. Cluster 2 is worst in everything. So cluster 5 is on the same level with cluster 2 on speed. So it's just nice saying that Pokemons that of type steel and rock, they are strong, but they don't have speed. So if you are a Pokemon collector and you are working with and you need a Pokemon that is fast.
Website here.
Okay. If you need a Pokemon that is fast, you should not be going for Pokemons in cluster 5. And if you need a Pokemon that is if you are working heavy on defense, maybe your opponent is someone that has a lot of special attack or have a lot of attack, then you should be going for Pokemons that are in cluster 5 for the defense. So and I see that Pokemons that are flying type, they have 0 representative in cluster 5, which means those Pokemons that their primary type are flying, they are very bad in defense. So if you are going heavy on defense, you should not be going for Pokemons that their primary type is flying, unless you want something that has to do with speed. Okay, and we can see that cluster 0 is best in special defense. So if you click on special defense, cluster 0 is represented. And generally, the reason cluster 3 came best averagely is because cluster 3 it came overall best in attack, special attack, and speed, while coming first runner up for other battle metrics. I mean, no other cluster was able to attain that feat. Then I had the collection tab where you get to see these Pokemons. So these generally are the Pokemons. This is the top 4. I did not filter it because I know you would want to scroll down. So I just left it so it can be it can go all the way down. So if we are looking at Pokemons in cluster 3, filters it to just Pokemons in cluster 3. So these are the Pokemons in cluster 3. Mega Mewtwo X, Mega Mewtwo Y, and so. So I brought back this ratio of Pokemons with a secondary type because it was passing a message to me. So I figured that the ratio of Pokemons with secondary type for the stronger cluster is higher. So 78.8% of the Pokemons in cluster 3 have higher ratio have higher ratio of Pokemons with 78% of Pokemons in cluster 3 have a secondary type. So now if you go to cluster 2, that's like the direct opposite. So we are seeing that Pokemons in cluster 2, 73% of them, they do not have a secondary type. So I think this is like personal information that the more the Pokemon has a secondary type, the stronger it is. So if you filter to cluster 5, you get to see the collection of Pokemons in cluster 5. These are the best in defense. So you can see they are majorly the heavy guys, the steel and the rock. This is a psychic type. It looks like a steel. So you see that they are the heavy guys. They are heavy on defense. I now went for that to put an extra slide. That's like in preparation for battle. If your opponent chooses, let's say my opponent will choose a Pokemon like let's call Pikachu. If my opponent chooses Pikachu, I might as well choose someone that can beat Pikachu. So that's all I have. Can anyone still hear me?
We can clearly hear you. I think I'm just preparing to clap my hand right now. This is amazing. Very, very amazing. I love that. And I think I love the storytelling part of it. It's amazing. And thank you for showing us this. Thank you for showing us how to build an amazing dashboard. I think we may probably in the future, we have another sessions where you kind of take our people on how to build this from end to end, right? Is this something you love to do?
Yes, it's not a problem.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you for that. Okay, so that is it, everyone. I think the amazing dashboard that Sylvia built, we can all see. As in, I've been opening my mouth since morning. That wow, this is amazing. It's like I'm not interested in Pokemon. So that is great. Now, just like I said, that we're not going to leave us after this marathon. We're not going to leave us. We said we're going to start this marathon and we're going to continue with this marathon. So what we are going to do, we've looked at what we can do next with the team, and what we think we should do next is we should focus a little bit more on automation. So we've done some things on Power BI and all that. So now we're thinking we should focus a bit on automation, right? With Power Automate. So we're going to do a lot of automations. So the team that is going to kind of champion that is Musin and Afis Babatunde with the support from Sylvia. I will also be in support as well. So I will be at the back end. So next week, we're going to take a rest. We are not doing anything next week. We'll rest a little bit. We've been doing like 6 weeks back to back. Let's give a hand to the team that are behind this. Afis, Babatunde, myself, Sylvia. Sylvia has done a lot of work, as in almost every week. We need to give her a hand for this. She has really, really strived for the past 6 weeks. So next week, we're going to rest. We are not doing anything for next week. Then upper week, Musin and Babatunde is going to come up with each automation case study we'll be doing for the 4 weeks. We're going to do 4 weeks of automation. So every single week, we are automating something amazing, right? So we're doing something amazing every week. Automation, and we'll be able to master Power Automate. And after that, we think of what next we should do. Right? I think aside from that, there's really nothing for me, except if there's any feedback from anyone in the team or Mr. Ahmed, Dr. Ahmed, if you have anything to add, please add it so we can at least close for today.
It's all right. Thanks a lot, Adwale Yusuf, for the last engaging 6 weeks. I mean, it's really worth it. It's really interesting, and which shows that our platform is growing. It's not easy running online sessions. I mean, it shows that it's growing. I mean, so want to appreciate Afis, want to appreciate Sylvia, Muxin, and everybody who are supporting this effort. So thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Any other addition from anyone? If there's no addition, so we're going to pick our winner from the WhatsApp group. Please go and vote. vote for the winning team. Then I will announce the gift we are going to give to the winning team on the group. Please, let's vote, 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 vote. Let's vote and let's select our winner. Okay, at this point, this is where I will say thank you very much, everyone. See you upper week. Thank you.
Are we okay? We are putting on the group, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. I think that's fine. For everyone that participated in this challenge, thank you so much. It's a wonderful thing. I can say I don't really have much money. I'm just a poor boy. I'll have said, I will have said I should give
Play.
prize to everyone, but I can say, I don't know. We have 4 people, right?
Three. We have three. Three people that play.
Tere, Abdul Wakil. We have one lady, Blessing, right?
Yes, and then Kindy. It's just three of them.
Okay. Syria one is something different. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, okay, no problem now, no problem. So I don't know what we are giving them, guys.
Don't worry, we'll plan something. Let's vote for the winning team first.
Okay. So, and we are meeting. Are we still meeting next week or?
So we should rest next week. So let's rest next week. Then upper week, we're going to start the automation session. So you and Musin, you should get back to us before upper week. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
thank you, everyone. See you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye.